All righty. What is going on, everybody? It's 8 o'clock. Um, Hopefully, everyone can hear and see. Let me know what you think. Am I look okay in audio and visual okay? Okay, sweet. It's a little jittery on my end, but I'm hoping it'll come out clear for you guys. But thank you, Jesse, for the audio and visual. I appreciate it. Welcome in. This is February 22nd, 2022, and here is my reveal. This is my new thing that I got that I can't wait to talk about. So I appreciate everyone coming in. And this is also my first time going strictly on YouTube and no StreamYard or Facebook or anything like that. So I'm hoping that this goes over well. But yeah, hello, Jesse. Hello, Ed's Aquatic Exotics. Hello, Sweet Acres. What's going on? Yeah, this sign is it's really neat. I'm really glad that this turned out really well because it took a while to order. I mean, the company that I ordered it from, you have to be really patient, just like in fish keeping. I mean, when you make your order, I think it took from the time that I ordered this sign until it probably took about a month and a half for it to actually get to my house from the time that I ordered it until the time it got to my house. I'm not sure. Let me share my screen here. Let me see. So let's share my screen. Let's see if we can get this to work. Yep, let's do that. This is where I ordered from, is this Xanvis Neon. So they have all different stuff that you can choose from. They got like these best sellers if you just wanted to pick and choose something just out of their category. And you have like pop art neon. You can shop by different categories and stuff. But you can also custom make your own. So that's what I did with mine. You can upload your image, do business signs, family stuff, and that sort of thing. So anyone else who wants to know about it, we can talk about that more, and I can share my screen again. But yeah, I have to give mad props to Joy at Fish Keeping, Jose, because he was the one that told me about him. And I've been looking for a sign like this for a while, and it just wasn't in my price range. It wasn't in my budget. I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of money, and I hadn't looked into it in a very long time either. So, okay, Jesse, you said don't play any videos on external sites. They will demonetize you. Okay, they did 2 lives ago. All right. Yeah, so I just showed their website briefly. That's good to know. Thanks, Jesse, for letting me know on that. But yeah, like Jose was the one that helped me out with this because he ordered it first around Christmas time. So he got a good discount on his, and I ordered mine shortly after, and I got a discount on mine. And all right, thanks, Select Pet, for coming in. Say Jesse says websites and pics okay, audio and videos are no good. Okay, that's good to know. I knew that had something to do with like a lot of monetization stuff because I think like if you try to like look up like YouTube music or anything music related, there's like a huge like demonetization sort of thing. I knew that was a fact. You have to use stuff specifically through YouTube, or you got to buy a subscription like through like a music app or something like that for it to be legal enough for you to be able to use it. But yeah, going back to this website on the sign is they actually gave me and Jose both an extra like 10% discount on top of the already like whatever the 30 or 40% off that the sign was originally supposed to be for. And you can pick like the size and how big you wanted it to. And you can always pick, like your custom picture, and how you want it made, and you want to try to upload the best quality picture at the same time too, so that way they can make sure that the print comes out well and everything looks really good. But yeah, hi JNN, and hey Jose, I was just talking about you. Um, I was just giving you mad props, man, about this site and telling me about this website and how it all came to be. Um, so it's really neat. I mean, I really like. I don't know how often I'd use this, but you can actually adjust like the brightness, 25, 50, and then like 100. So you can make it like really bright if you wanted to. I have it down to like probably like the lowest. Um, so you can kind of see it go down a little ways, but you can also do like different modes. So you can kind of have it blink, which is kind of neat. You can adjust the speed as well, which I think is pretty crazy. And then you can have it kind of go slowly on and off, which is kind of trippy. I mean, there's so many different settings and stuff to this. It's really neat. But I just usually leave it just as a light, and I just keep it down like as a slow dim. I wonder if this is what's reflecting off of it. Yep. So let me. How's that? That's better. There was a little reflection from one of my tank lights for my dragon cage or my dragon blood cage. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, Jose, stopping by mom with family. We'll be listening in. Thanks, Jose. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Thanks, Fathom. Yeah, I really like this light. It has a lot of neat features to it, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like, especially in the fish keeping hobby, we all work so hard at our job and family life and working hard at the hobby to try to keep all these fish alive. And I just wanted to treat myself just kind of like what Jose talked about with me, that he felt like he really wanted to treat himself to be able to enjoy something, especially when he's doing like YouTube videos and live streams and stuff. And I think it really is a nice thing for me, like just to have around the fish room and just enjoy and show it off to you guys. But yeah, and and Jesse, thank you for that. Jesse put a link on that on what I gave to him. And what's cool about this is you can either choose like stickers that you like a bunch of stickers that you want to create through Xanvis Neon on their website, or they let you choose. Hold on, right here. That they can give you some of these. And I chose these because that's what Jose chose. And they give you 5 of them. Now, however, that they say that you get them for free, but I'm sure there's a price, and that for between the sign and getting those or stickers. So I'm sure that's all involved in the whole entire thing. Select says, my problem is if I identify a spot to put a sign, I accidentally stick a tank in that location before I would get a sign. That's easy to do, especially in this fish room here too. I mean, there really wasn't much. Once I created this in-walls tank setup, Select, that there really wasn't much more room to put anything else, especially when I started buying decorations from the home stores and stuff like that to put up against this wall. I really had to pick a perfect size for this spot here, and that's pretty much it. Because there really isn't. If I put any other signs up, it's kind of taken away from the whole. I like keeping things even, and the same signs on either side, the different decorations and stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys want to check out Jesse's short, and then Jose also came out with a short as well, and I wanted to show you guys his in case you guys haven't seen it. But he's got one of these too. And he sent me this. So this is kind of where I wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose, whenever I got 5 of those, why I chose to give these 5 to these certain people. So the reason I chose to, like I said, they give you 5 of these. one for myself, of course, over here. But the the other two out of the five, besides me, I gave one to my brother, first and foremost, because he's the one that helped me build this in-wall tank setup. He's helped me bring in a lot of fish tanks down here. He helped me haul the 220-gallon fish tank that I'm really excited to, get together in the future, from outside on a snowy day, down the stairs and into my basement. Because it took four of us to load it in the van. It took Matt and I, my brother and I, to get it downstairs. And he's helped me a lot with this fish room and getting it set up, as far as moving things around in tanks and stuff, and even helping me move my 125 Frontosa tank upstairs. He helped me move that into where it needs to go as well. So I felt like he deserved every bit of getting one of those for me. So there's two. So there's that one of my brothers. 3 I gave to my mom and dad because they come in and watch my lives here as well. And then they're involved with this, and they really like everything I do and that sort of thing. They'll join in the chat, and they've really supported me with starting this fish room as well. So I gave one to them for their house. And then the last 2, I felt like I couldn't. The best people to give it to was Jose, obviously, because he gave me one of his. So I, in return, wanted to return the favor. So that was just us, kind of doing our fair share of the whole. He's the one that introduced me to it, and he gave me one of his, so I got to return the favor, sort of thing. And then last but not least, I thought of you, Jesse, just because of the simple fact that you've been a channel member for, month after month after month continuously. And for people who do that, I like to try to give back to those people who continuously be a channel member and continue to support me, and follow me through the channel in every way, shape, or form. So that's kind of like my thanks to you, Jesse, and giving you this sign, saying, hey, I really appreciate it. And so it means a lot. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why I chose those 5. But lo and behold, for everyone who didn't get one, I do want to make another announcement. Is I still have stickers. I think I ordered 100, I believe. If you guys can see these, I've sent these out to a few people. They're kind of like a holographic. So if there's anybody that would like a couple stickers from me, I am on Jesse's Discord. I'm sure you guys have all seen me on there. So anyone that wants stickers, they're more than welcome to just send me a message on either Discord, or if you guys have Instagram or Facebook, you can message me on either one of those. And if you guys want some stickers, I can send them to your address, and it'd be simple in an envelope and send them to you. If you want some stickers, I'm be more than happy to send you some. But yeah, let me catch up on chat here, see if I missed anything. Yeah, make sure everyone checks out the short that Jesse and Jose put out. Hey, Sleeper Barbecue, what's going on? Let's see, who else? JNN. Yeah, it says I need a sign with my logo. There you go. It's like I said, this sign, it's a little pricey, but it's actually a little bit better in my price range, especially when they start giving you discounts. And then on top of that, they give you an extra 10% off. Plus you get those signs. So I think it's a really good deal, in my opinion. It was a lot more in my price range as opposed to spending, several $100s. When I mean several, I mean like well over 300, $400 or $500, and that was kind of like, I didn't want to spend $400 or $500 on something like this. So, but yeah, that's kind of the whole rundown of everything on here. As far as the sign goes, the neon sign, I really like it. It really gives the fish room a nice, pizzazz look to it. I really enjoyed setting this thing up, and it's really easy to set up too. They just give you the little drywall. I don't know what you call them, but they're basically, you just drill a pilot hole, and then you put those drywall parts in, and then you just put the screw in. Jesse, you might better help me with what those are called. Thanks, Jesse, for all those YouTube links. Yeah, JNN, they're definitely pricey. Select Pack says Jesse's a super mod. Jesse's the king of moderation on my channel. So yes, anchors. There you go. Thank you, JNN. So yeah, they're like drywall anchors. They're small drywall anchors. So you just do a pilot hole with drywall anchors, and then they have these 4 little silver tabs they put on, and they have like a locking thing that goes onto this plastic part around the rim here, and that's how you just screw them into place. The only thing is you have to be pretty accurate with it, with your holes, because if not, there's 4 holes on the sign, and then you just have to be pretty accurate in where you put them, so that way they line up perfectly, because otherwise it's going to be hard to put the sign up. So you want to make sure that you're pretty precise on where you're placing those holes at for the sign. But yeah, drywall anchors. Jesse says a screw-in type is the only one I use. The push-in ones are, yeah, the push-in ones are kind of, these ones are okay. I'd rather have the screw-in ones personally myself. It seems like the push-in ones, sometimes they can be kind of nerve-wracking, because sometimes you might push them in too far, and then everyone knows how drywall works. The more you mess with drywall, the worse it gets. And then you're just causing yourself a bigger issue. Whereas I think the screw-in ones, especially if you don't have like any wood or anything behind it, I mean, if you have like 2x4s and stuff, that's fine. But all I had behind here, and I was thinking, well, maybe there's some 2x4s back here that might be able to help me anchor these better. And there wasn't. It's just drywall. But it's holding up, and it's pretty solid. I'm not going to like yank on this per se, but I'm sure that if I took this and just kind of went like this really hard on it, with some force, I could probably pull this thing right off. But it's on there. It's solid. That's the important thing. If someone bumps into it, it's not going to come off, and it's going to be okay. So I do like the screw-in types better, Jesse. I do agree with you. Jose says, if anyone is interested, please mention the fish family. You have nothing to lose. I asked Joe that he was recommended by another client. He got another 10%. Yep. I priced another one and was $450. Okay. Versus the 270. Yeah. That's the thing that I did. So yeah, everyone can check out the message at Jose that I just talked about. It definitely helps, because when you mentioned that we're all in the fish family together and stuff, and that's kind of the guy, Tony, he's the owner and CEO of the company. We were actually emailing back and forth directly, and just to get everything figured out. And he was the one that gave me an extra 10%, because I mentioned Jose, Joy Fish Keeping, and he said, yeah, I can give you an extra 10% sort of thing. And has no problem doing so. So that's really nice of them to do. Yeah, Select, he says, oh, hey, Brandon, how's it going? Glad your stickers made it. Select says, I've definitely pushed it in too far before. Had to get another and try again. Makes me wonder how many anchors are in the walls of houses between the drywall. Yeah, you get like a small one, then you push it in too far, then you can't get it back out, and then you have to put another one in, and you're just like, wonder how many of those are in the walls. I know I have a couple upstairs when I first moved into this house, where I used some of those drywall anchors. And there are times where I pushed it in and I couldn't get it back out. I'm just like, well, that one's going to be in there for a while. But the good thing is it's behind a picture frame or something like that. So by then it was like, who cares? You're not going to see it. It's there. It's ugly, but you're not going to see it because it's behind a picture frame. But yeah. Jesse says, P-Tag, when I was hanging my chain pendant lighting above tanks, I use screw in and put Gorilla Glue on the threads. You have enough to pull out you'd have to pull the pliers out, or you have enough to pull out the pliers now. So yeah, I think that would be something I would do too. Especially if I got something that's pretty heavy, and this sign here, it's not too bad. It's not really that heavy, to be honest. If you think it would be, but it really wasn't. And it was pretty easy to put up. But if I were to put anything that was heavy related, I would definitely, because I have wood glue, and I've never used wood glue, but that's a good thing to note, that next time that I put something up that's heavy, I'll definitely be doing that with the wood glue, and to make sure everything stays in there nice and solid. Thanks, Jesse, for showing Brandon's his channel. Jose says the push ones are useless, but this sign with the push in work well. The shear force is downward and would be cool. Yep. Yeah, Jose, the push ones here, they're not bad. I mean, they're pretty basic, but It works. I didn't have any issues with it, and the only one I had issue with, Jose, was this very last one here. It was a little slightly off, but I was able, because actually this one isn't even screwed in all the way, but it's like 75-80% all the way, but the sign's not moving, and that's the important part, and all the other screws are fine, so it's still pretty solid. Yep, it's all plexiglass. That's right. I couldn't think of like the type of the term or phrase for that, but yes, it's plexiglass. So it's still pretty good. But yeah. Jesse says, so you remember when I said I had a Fluval Aqua Sky light, the Bluetooth went out? $280 light, was going to throw it away as I could not connect it through a Fluval app. Possibly. You can elaborate more on that if you want, Jesse. I do remember you having the Fluval Aqua Skies, though. Download app on wife's phone and it works. That's so bizarre. What do you know? Yeah, I've never purchased those Fluval Aqua Skies because by the time that I heard about it on your channel, Jesse, I had already had my light set up down here, so there really wasn't like, and all my lights are set up upstairs anyways. But if I were to get a Fluval Aqua Sky, it would probably be for my peacock and hap tank if that light were to ever go out, because I feel like that light is a little bit too strong, and that's why I don't leave it on for more than, let's see, it comes on at 9:30, 10, 11, 12, 1. I only leave that light on for like 4.5 hours. Or no, it's on until, yeah, it is on until 2:30 or 3. So about 4 or 5 hours is the only time it's on, I think, because that light's just a little bit too strong. Because I debated about getting one that you could adjust, the brightness of it. And I feel like that's why I have a little bit of like a brown algae per se in that tank. And it always seems to be an ongoing problem with that. So I always have to constantly clean the glass on that tank. So if I were to get a different light, I would probably get one of those Fluval Aqua Skies so I could adjust the brightness to it and everything. Because the one that's up there now, I cannot. But yeah, those lights, I remember you liked those lights a lot. Wow, wives are good for something after all. Who knew? Yeah, right. At least they're good for something. They're good for a lot of things, especially when you start having kids, and they're definitely good for a lot of things. Long story short, my wife is phenomenal with our daughter. I mean, she does really well. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm the away from home work dad. So plus doing the fish stuff, and she helps feed the fish, and my daughter actually helps feed the fish down here in the fish room with my wife here. So she's, from what my mom, I'm thinking Alana, but she does really well. My wife said that my daughter actually does a really good job for being 2.5 years old. She can actually like hold the food now and take it to each tank and be able to put it in the tank lightly and only put so much and never, dump a whole container in or nothing like that. She actually puts a little bit in her hand and puts it in each one of these tanks. Does it upstairs too. Puts it in the small, in the fish food cap. She'll take a little bit out and put it in the cap, and take a little bit more out and put it in the cap, and then she'll actually hold on to it and then just dump it in the tank. And she said she does phenomenal at it, and that's really cool. Hey, Swiffle, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, my whole fishing would be Fluval lights, but talk about money. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of like how I felt too with some of these lights. When I first started my fish room, I was starting to buy some of like the Amazon lights and stuff. And then after I got more and more tanks, then I was just like, all right, if I start buying individual lights for each tank, it's going to get really, really expensive. So that's when I started to go with some of my bigger tanks. I think 40 gallons and up. Some of the tanks already came with lights, but others, like I strictly went with just LED shop lights. And they are a little bright. You obviously can't adjust these ones I don't know if they make adjustable ones. I'm assuming they do, but I just bought, your middle to cheap, middle of the road to cheap LED shop lights, and they work just as good. So yeah, I don't really have much complaints. They really work well. Now, if I had, I already have lights for my 220, and they're dimmable. You can adjust the brightness. They actually have timers on them too. I forget the brand name of them. I'd have to look it up again because I think I had to look it up when I first got them because all I saw was all I could go by was a logo, and then I found the controller for them. But long story short, if I were to buy lights, I would definitely be looking into Fluval Aqua Sky. But whenever tanks come with lights, I've just been using those. So, Brandon says I'm currently playing Hotel Spa with my youngest. Turns out I'm pretty good at painting toe and fingernails. That's awesome. Well, I'm only showing 5 people in here. Just one more fish. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? Jessica says, been there, done that. Hey, Slim Tim, thanks for coming in. Sorry I couldn't. Slim Tim, did you end up doing your live that day? Because I saw on Discord that you wanted to, but no one, I guess, replied, and I was busy that day. But if you ever want to do a live or something like that, just keep posting the Discord. Don't be shy or anything, because even if it didn't work this time, doesn't mean it won't work another time. Thank you, Jesse, for being the king of moderation here on my channel. Just one more fish. Thanks for coming in. If I hadn't already said thanks to begin with. I'm not sure, Jesse, maybe you can answer this question, because I'm only showing 5 people watching right now on this YouTube studio. So I don't know if there's more than 5 people on here or not. I really haven't checked. But it looks like 5. A lonely 5. I didn't really check to see if anyone else was live streaming tonight, and I don't really care. Just because I'm just doing my own thing and trying to make it work. But all right, Jesse, 5 here. Brandon, I'm not sure. Brandon, I did this strictly through YouTube. I'm like in the Fish Fam, but like I don't know if this got relayed to the Fish Fam link. So I usually use StreamYard, but I'm not using StreamYard now because I don't want to pay the price that they want for better quality and better features and stuff. All right. Yeah, if you want to share it on there, if you want to look, Brandon, that'd be terrific. I'd appreciate it. Just when my first fish says it is, but when you click on it, it shows error. You know what? That's because I wonder if the reason why people don't know about it is because I had to actually, Jesse and I caught him on the phone earlier, because what happened was the reason why I had to like take this one off, and then I really had to create a new one like 30 minutes, or less before this live stream, because I had used my phone originally to schedule it. And after Jesse and I talked, we both realized that he said that he always uses his computer. And when I scheduled this, I scheduled it on my phone. And I never have any problems whenever I use StreamYard, because I could go on the StreamYard app on my phone and then schedule it and then throw it on YouTube. And then I could just go on my computer. Like I could do it at work if I wanted to, schedule a live stream on my phone through StreamYard. And then I could come home, go on StreamYard, and then bring my laptop up, and I'd be good to go. So that was kind of my mindset. Is I thought I could do the same thing, but apparently not. So Jesse and I talked, and we figured out that I'm just gonna have to delete my original one, because I could not, I could not go on that same live that was scheduled on my phone without, like, I could use my phone, but I had to set it up and everything with my phone. And so I basically had to delete the original one and recreate this one 30 minutes before my live. So that's kind of the, for anyone who wants to know about that, that was the whole reason why I had to reschedule this one. So hopefully maybe Brandon figured it out, or maybe this one got reposted on the Fish Fam link, or maybe one of you guys can repost it. I'm not really sure how that works out. So that's why it shows the error. Okay, just one more fish. I had to look your channel up to find the live. Yeah. All right, Brandon, sweet. So I'm hoping that works. Maybe that'll get some people in a little bit more, because right now there's only 8 of us, which is fine. We still got a few things to talk about, and I'm sure if more people come in, then we can talk more about the sign for people who start rolling in, and I don't mind talking about it more. Jesse, thank you for the share. Brandon, you can post the streams manually before you go live. So I'll probably do that next time then. And like you said, what probably happened is that there was an error. So I'm assuming next time when I do this on YouTube, it probably won't have that error. I'm assuming just because I had to quickly delete that one and then recreate it. Because I did post on my community tab that I had to get rid of the old one. But thanks again. Between Jesse and Brandon, I appreciate your help on that. So yeah, Aquatic Moose. Aquatic Moose, how did you come up with your channel name? How is a moose aquatic? I'm curious. I want to get everyone else's opinion on that too. I really like that name. That's a really cool name. Thank you, Jesse, for putting Aquatic's moose name on there. But yeah, I'm curious to know. Brandon just got his stickers for me. Like I said, more people that come in if they want stickers. Like I said, if you guys are interested in some stickers, get a hold of me on Discord, Facebook, or Instagram, and I can mail them out to you if you're okay with that. But yeah, what other stuff has happened this week? As far as fish room related, I've actually been slowly and steadily auctioning and selling my fish, it's a good start for me. Jesse said he's talked about it. But I've had I'm not shipping fish. I've decided I'm probably not going to unless someone is really interested. I just haven't got the equipment yet. I know people have been kind of wanting me to do that, and I haven't yet. Since I've started these auctions, or I should say, since I did my first auction, and then I sold some to people that were in the auction through the Youngstown community, that I'm going to go to that auction later, next month, I believe. And then just people through Facebook and stuff. I've got a hold of some people that were interested, and I met with someone yesterday. I don't recall his name. I probably could bring it up here. But regardless, so I won't mention his name, but long story short, I got a hold of him through Facebook, and or he got a hold of me through Facebook, and I sold him some Kenny Eye, some Dragon Blood, and what was the other one he got? Kenny Eye, Dragon Blood, and some female OBs. Which is crazy because he was in the area, but he was actually originally in Sandusky. So he had like a 2-hour drive home. So I went ahead and gave him the insulated box that I had lying around. So, so Aquatic Moose says it is a literal name. It was inspired by all the aquatic kind of names. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. And moose is a fish. Wonderful. All right. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Hey, there we go. The fish family link is on here. So that's good. That's a good sign. I need someone to donate a 500-gallon aquarium to me. Who's doing it? Should we start a GoFundMe account for Jesse's 500-gallon? Can you even fit that in your fish room? Because right now we're still trying to, you're still trying to do your big tank, just like me. It's going to take a while. So I completely understand it. Mine's still sitting in storage. It's still the slow process of me moving fish around and getting things underway. It's a process. It's going to take a while. And I can't do anything at all until I move my 10-gallon rack out of the way. So until I get that completed, moving fish from the 20s to other spots, selling other fish from the bigger tanks, and then moving the 10s over to the 20s, and then moving a big tank over there. I mean, this is a whole process. Like I'm predicting my 220 not to be in this fish room until probably springtime, like mid-springtime. I want it to be done by late spring. That's my initial goal. Let's see here. Jose says he's still lost with that explanation. Just one more fish, as Jesse. One ponds are easier. I don't know. That was a thing that I was debating about too, is starting a pond out here. it's kind of like one of those things that's on the back burner. So I'm not like all in on it yet, but I know if I really wanted to do it, I could probably do it, but I would have to really, really put my mind to it and think about it. Right now, getting rid of some of my fish, selling them, auctioning them, getting, I have a project right now that's in the works. So I have to do one thing at a time. So that's a pond that whenever I want to make a pond, it'll probably be like years in the future, per se. Yeah, Jesse, I do like the look of aquariums though. I mean, I really can't complain. I mean, I really love this setup. I really love seeing aquariums. You better walk around them and that sort of thing. Whereas I do like ponds and they're neat, but you only can see on top. And I think that's what the downfall is. You really can't see the beauty in the whole big picture of a fish when you're looking from above. Now, if you want to throw some bait out there and catch it, there's like if you're going fishing for a large amount of bass and you pull them up and you're like, wow, this thing's amazing, then that's a different story. But we're not doing that here in our ponds. So just one more fish. Your 470 pond is clear front. Well, that's interesting. So what do you mean by like if you don't mind me asking, by a clear front? Is it like raised up at a certain point? Like, is there a high point and a low point? Or is it just sitting on your ground, or is it in ground sort of thing? Like, or is maybe half of it in ground and then you have a certain part where it's clear in the front? That's interesting. And where are you originally at? Like, are you at a good state? Your weather is pretty good to keep your pond at a good temperature range. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. Jesse says, yes, the display panel ponds are great. So I haven't heard of that. With my buddy 900. Jose says, the real question is, do I really want to be number one or number two? I don't know. It's a close one. You guys are in the runnings. Maybe we should take a vote. I don't know. I think Jesse might have a little one up just because he's been a channel member, but that's just me. Sleeper Barbecue says Jesse number one and number two. Let's see. So just one more fish says that on his ponds that everything's indoor. It's pretty much a swimming pool with a clear panel on the side. So that's cool. I'm thinking if I'm visualizing this correctly, it's something that you might see like maybe at like an aquatic place that you would go pay to get into, and you would see like above it, and then there'd be like stairs, you'd go down it and see like a small part of it sort of thing, if I'm visualizing that correctly. But regardless, I think that's really neat. Aquatic Moose says, one is the worst, second is the best, and third is the one with the hairy chest. You're a poet and you didn't know it, my friend. So yeah. We're confusing Jesse. Okay, so you just one more fish says that I believe they originated it for Corey. Okay. Still, regardless, I think it's really nice to have. I think, creating a pond like that, I don't know if I could pull that off here. The only way that I could, if I really put my mind to it, it would be kind of neat too, because I have like those glass block windows, and I wonder if they make like, come to think of it, they probably have like clear glass block windows. So if I made a pond, I wonder if I could just dig down deep enough to where these tanks are at. So if there was a pond there, you could come down in my fish room. We place these block windows that are in there now because they're kind of, you really can't see through them at all. Because I think they were made that way to prevent, from prying eyes, I guess. But it'd be neat. I wonder if you could make those clear block windows like you put inside concrete. And I wonder if you could put that pond in there and go above those windows so you could come down here and see a pond that way. I think that would be kind of neat. Maybe a future project. Interesting. Very interesting. But that would be cool if I did have a pond. That would make it worth it for me, because then people could come down here in the fishery and be like, oh, well, there's the koi. We can see, clear as day. I don't know. It's a thought. Let's see. Here's just one more fish says, it was really cool on the 900 gallon. I gave it to my buddy when I moved the fish room. Okay. Jessica says, so P-Tag, what else super secret news are you sharing? Nothing really super secret. Just one more says, either way, it says I'm the best. There's really nothing that's super secret, I guess. The auction was kind of thing I wanted to talk about, and it was a really neat experience. There was two things I wanted to talk about. This was one of them, because I was really excited to show you guys this and the explanation behind it and how it came to be and that sort of thing. Sleeper Barbecue says glass has to be 1 piece above ground. Ponds are huge in the UK. All right. 1 piece above. Glass has to be 1 piece above ground. Okay. Interesting. So that must be like a requirement then. So you probably wouldn't be able to do that here then, if that's like a regulation sort of thing. I don't know. Let me see. It'd be interesting to see your thoughts on that. But anyways, this was my first thing I wanted to talk about. And then my second thing I wanted to talk about is my first experience with Ohio Cichlid Association, and they did a fish auction. I think the only downfall about it is that the weather was kind of crappy that day. I mean, it was I'm about an hour away from where they had it, and it took me an hour and a half to get there. So I was pretty pressed for time. And I was trying to actually got up early to bag all these fish up, and it turned out really well. But it just took me a lot longer than I anticipated, because I ended up bagging up 10 bags total. I was going to do more, but I just ran out of time. And I had to, like, if I had pre-gamed the night before, I don't think I would have gotten those 10 bags done. And not only did I do 10 bags, there was a couple of gentlemen that I got a hold of through the Youngstown community and their fish community. They're doing their auction next month. There was 2 guys that went to the OCA this time, and I sold a few bags to them as well. So I think I did 14 or 16 bags total, I believe, because I just sold to them personally, and then I went to the auction and sold the rest of them, or auctioned off the rest of them. So if I had more time, I probably would have done more, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. So I'm going to bring a bunch of bags to the Youngstown auction here next month. Glass is expensive. Jesse, I saw that. Yeah, I woke up this morning. You're just in time to see your live this morning. So I actually was literally just woke up and just got out of bed. So I was able to get your live for a little bit. And then I was ready for Ben Ochart's live, and I was just like, wait, what? Okay, 3/4 inch thick. Okay. But yeah, the OCA it worked out well. I actually ended up auctioning. I think it averaged out on this one, because this was like a smaller auction compared to the guys that I was talking about. I guess the one in Youngstown is a little bit bigger auction, so I'll probably try to bring more in that auction. But long story short, it turned out really well. They each fish, since they're only about 1.5 to 2 inches big right now, that they sold for roughly $2, give or take, per fish. So if you think, if I put 6 fish in a bag, and I sold 10 bags, you can kind of do the math there. And then plus I sold an extra 5 or 6 bags. And I sold, I think I got, however much that came to be. It was like $50 or something like that from one guy, and 25, 30 or something from another guy, for a few bags for each of them. But it all worked out. And even the guy that I sold to yesterday that I met at PetSmart, everyone that I've given bags to, and people actually, what was cool about this auction is I got messages from people on Facebook, and then they added me as friends. A couple people said, hey, my fish are all doing well, and I bought fish from your auction. So it was kind of neat that they got a hold of me and told me that everything worked out, and every fish that I auctioned off, as far as I know, and the fish that I gave to people, they all survived. So I must have done a good job bagging. I put whenever I bagged them, I'll show you what I used. I was just putting I was just using this in my bags, and then I would just take like an eye droplet and just put a few drops into the bag. And as far as I know, it worked because all the fish survive. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Oh, just one more fishery in PA. All right, so you probably have quite a lot of heating to do in your pond then. Um, you probably have a certain way of doing that to keep it controlled in the wintertime. I know that fish kind of get somewhat dormant and go deep in their ponds and stuff, and they just kind of hang out, for a while. But I'm assuming you have at least some type of heat to at least keep an open spot in your pond. I think I've seen that before. Um, let's see here. Catching plecos is the worst, says Brandon. I don't catch plecos a whole lot, but I'm sure they can't be fun, especially when they just stick to everything and you're trying to pry them off the glass or the decorations or whatever. um, Jesse says his PetSmart got all new tanks and system and lighting, and they look amazing. Yeah, our PetSmart did that too. The last time I went, some of their fish weren't in too good a shape, but they got a whole new water change system and everything. And I've actually seen it happen once when I was there, and it's actually pretty slick. They do it all at the same time, and they have like a whole system in the back and an RO system, and um, it was pretty cool. And it looks really neat too. Like it looks pretty professional. Like the doors that they open up, they're really nice and like homey looking, however you want to call it. So they got a really nice presentation. I think Ben Ochart though, I think the last time he went to PetSmart, it might have been Petco, either or. I think he had a bad experience with some fish that he bought there, so he said he wasn't going to go there anymore. From his experience, every location's different, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. What's up, Aquatic News Network? And he says, "Howdy, Earthlings." This is the new thing you're doing, right? Isn't this Tommy? I'm assuming is this Tommy, Aquatic News Network? This is the thing that he started, right? Jesse said he's always had good luck with PetSmart. Most of my fish come from there. Dan's fish is high. He wants like $60-70 for an Oscar. I'll never buy from him. Yeah, it's hard to try to find an online person. I'm sure that most of them is trustworthy, but it just comes down to if you want to spend the money on it, because I think that's the hard thing for me is I might find like a fish or two. Like I want to get another giraffe cichlid for upstairs. But problem is if you want to spend like 30 to 50 bucks on a fish, well then for me, like for example, like Imperial Tropicals, you have to spend $50 to ship them. So in turn, not only is the fish like $30 to $50, I'm also spending $50 for one fish to get it for him to get shipped. So it's kind of like, do I really want to spend like $70 to $100 for one fish? It makes it worth it to spend several, or buy several fish so that we're only paying that one-time shipping fee sort of thing. But then again, it's kind of like, well, how much do you really want to spend? And my luck with PetSmart has been, I haven't bought something in PetSmart in a while, but I haven't bought fish at a store in a long time either. Well, I take that back. There's a store, I don't know if Pet Supplies Plus, if that's a thing in other states. I don't know if it's just an Ohio thing, but we have a store called Pet Supplies Plus, and I just don't have any luck with them. I buy fish from them and I put them in my QT tank, and within a week they're dead. So, and it has nothing to do with my water. It has nothing to do with the parameters between the difference between their place and my place, other than maybe a little bit of pH adjustment. But I haven't had much luck with Pet Supplies Plus. But the good thing is they refund you within that 2-week period. So I guess to each their own. Okay, so just one more says the koi pond is 6 feet deep with air. Okay, that's cool. Um, yep. So that is Tommy then. Yes, it's Tommy. New big thing. I saw a sneak peek of that, Tommy, of your news thing. I have to look more into that. I'm curious to see what topics you're covering and like how you're going to go about doing this because it's interesting. I saw this introduced on Jim's channel on Happy Place, and it's interesting. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm really curious to see what type of things you're going to be covering and what you're going to talk about. That should be a lot of fun. And if you think about it, Tommy, no one's ever done something like this before, at least that I know of. So I think it's nice to bring something fresh into the fish YouTube community. Especially if it's a hot topic per se that you could talk about and be like, hey, this is what's going on, in the fish world, or hey, this is what's going on, in this country or that area or this location, that sort of thing. You can kind of reflect on it and relate to it in different ways. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, so Aquatic News Network, which is Tommy, says we have Pet Supplies Plus in Texas. Okay, so that must be a whole thing because I wasn't sure of that. Because you always hear people talk about PetSmart and Petco and all the big box stores. So I wasn't sure if Pet Supplies Plus, because around here in Ohio, the Pet Supplies Plus stores, they're kind of small. And they only have like your basic stuff. Like they don't even carry like African cichlid sand as an example. And they don't really have a whole lot of variety. Whereas if you go to like PetSmart and Petco, and especially PetSmart, I feel like they're a little bit better than Petco, just because they have a big variety of stuff and they usually have decent sales. Petco is really good for my experience for buying tanks. I've never had a tank leak, knock on wood. And I've had really good luck with them. But as far as PetSmart, I like their selection of decorations and I like their selection of media. I feel like whenever I go to Petco, it's more limited. But that could be my location as well. I think PetSmart is a little bit bigger too, as far as where my location's at. Okay, so Just One More Fish has one of them stores too. Yeah, Jesse, whenever you buy fish online, you do get more options, and I think that's really nice to have. Some Tim is not buying any fish for a while. Strip 3 in Boona and got 63 fry. Yeah, your fry operation is going nuts right now. I remember those days to where I had a total of, I think, 4 tumblers at one point. I got rid of 2 of them. I might have one more. I might have got rid of 3 of them now that I think of it. But I had 4. I had 1 big tumbler and 3 other ones going at one point, full of African cichlids, and just stripping them and letting the eggs tumble. I mean, it was absolutely crazy how much fry I was getting, and that's how all these fish in this fish room, other than my Mbuna tank over here and this tank behind me, all the fish in this room are all mine. It's crazy to think about that and how many fry and how many fish I produced in this experience. Okay, some don't do stress on the move. Hey, Cedre, thanks for the fish. Thanks for this. They're mixing and mingling great. Alrighty, wonderful. Okay, yeah, I just talked about you, Cedre. I literally had, like, probably within the last 30 minutes or less, I was just talking about how I met somebody at PetSmart and how we got you some Dragon Blood, Kenny Eye, and some OBs, a couple OBs. So I'm really glad to hear that they're all mingling and doing well. That's really good to hear. I guess my only cautious side would be if all 6 of them are together. Maybe as I get older, I don't know. People have different experiences with mixing Mbuna with Peacock and Haps. But good luck to you. I hope they all. I have my fingers crossed that all your fish will make it and they'll be healthy, and you won't have any issues because they grew fine here. They grew up from egg tumblers, as little eggs, to what they are now. So then I took care of them. I changed the water all the time, kept up with it. So I'm really glad to hear that they made it all the way back to Sandusky. That's really cool. Good to see you in here, though, Cedre. I appreciate you coming in. Tommy from Aquatic News Network says all topics actual news related with light comedy and a conservation mindset. My goal is to prove that with very little human effort, we can make huge differences. Jesse, Jim, and I. That's good. That's good. And he does a good job. He does things professionally, and he does a really good job at it. Aquatic News says, or I keep saying aquatic, but I know it's Tommy. My local pet supply plus fish area is small, but they have some pretty decent fish there, and the people there are extremely knowledgeable. And I even got schooled with scientific names of plants. Yes, that's not how my Pet Supplies Plus stores works. They're only there to get a paycheck, and they don't know much anything about. Just from my experience, you ask them questions, and the only thing they might know the nitrogen cycle, but that's it. So that's unfortunately how my Pet Supplies Plus experience. And I have 3 within range of like a 15-minute drive that I could go to between different directions. And all of them have the thing that sucks about it too is all 3 of them, at least half the fish, they always say they have that sign in front of their tank saying that these fish are sick or that sort of thing. And their tanks haven't been that great. So that's why I would rather go to PetSmart, something that has an updated system and care more about their fish community, and they have a bigger selection and bigger, just a bigger overall experience. That's a lot better for me. Jesse says, what's up, Cedre? Scientific names of plants. Okay. Sleeper says, thanks for angelfish. Let's see. No problem getting new tanks, Cedre. That's the MTS is set in for you, I assume. How many tanks do you have, man? I'm not the only one that gets in a 30-minute convos with people buying fish at pet stores and get them to sub to my channel. Hey, yep, here we go. Well, Cedre, I'm glad I could have you in here. All right. Jesse pulled a JT. I don't know what that is. Put my channel up on every computer and TV at Best Buy. That's funny. I wonder if I could actually do that. When people are advertising the TVs, I'll just bring up my channel and have it stream the entire time and see how many people I can get to join my channel. Hey, CC's, thanks for coming in. Hopefully I didn't confuse you from earlier. We got that fixed earlier. Long story short, Jesse helped me out. We had to delete the original live stream, and then I had to recreate a new one because I created the original one on my phone, and I could not bring it up on my computer because it was originated on my phone, which I think YouTube, in my opinion, is kind of stupid because if I'm on StreamYard, I can go from my phone to my computer, no problem. But whatever, it's all good. We figured it out. Ben Sharp, thanks for coming in. Hello, how's it going? Gina's Reef, stopping in, hanging out for a little bit. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate the love. JT keeping fish. Okay. Jeff Kane, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. We got 18 people in here. For all the people who just joined in, here's something that I had recently got. I've actually had it for almost a week. But long story short, there's a place called Zanvis, Zanvis Neon, and Jose Jalapeno on a Stick. No. Anyone get that reference? Jose from Joy of Fish Keeping is the one that told me about it. And I was looking into neon signs for a while, and it was just way above my price range. I didn't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a neon sign. Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for coming in. Raising Fishes. What's going on? You guys are all late. We already talked about everything. But I don't mind repeating myself. But yeah, this Zanvis Neon, Jose hooked me up with this company because I didn't know about him. And from his experience, he had a really good experience. There's the main guy, Tony, through Zanvis. He's the owner and CEO of the company. him and I were emailing back and forth directly. And you send them the most high quality picture you can find, and then you can personalize it. You can buy your own neon. They have like already made neon signs that you can just buy, or you can create your own. But it was really neat to go through this entire process, and it's a really neat sign. You can do like different functions with it. You can kind of, like I told you before, or these guys, you can do different modes with it and stuff, which is kind of neat. It gets really bright. But yeah, this was kind of like my treat to me. I wanted to do something special for me, just because of I do a lot of work down here in the fish room, and in balancing work and life and fish room and that sort of thing. I just felt like sometimes in life you just deserve to treat yourself every once in a while, and I want to spend money on stuff that's fun, and being able to show you guys, and being able to do live streams in front of this is going to be a lot of fun. I'll do videos in front of this as well. So I think it would be nice to share with all of you guys. Plus, it's something for everyone else to enjoy, and family and friends come down here. And it was just something that I felt like I deserved to buy myself something special. So it was a good buy for me, and it was within my price range. It was a lot better than some of the neon signs I was looking at other websites. It was just way out of the price range. There was already a discount going on at the time, and then plus, if you mentioned that you're in the fish family, and you talk with me and Jose and a bunch of other people in the YouTube fish community, they gave us an extra 10% discount on top of that if you mentioned that, and that was very nice of Tony that I got that email with. I was going to do a box opening for that neon sign, but I decided not to because I was in my box for several days while I was working, and then whenever I had free time, I was like, well, I just want to open this up and put it up. So I thought it'd be perfect before I do a video to have you guys all see it on my live stream. So there you go. Who else is in here? Did I miss anybody? It seems like every time I start to wrap up a live, everyone decides to join. I know the feeling. Ben. Jesse, thanks for Jeff Kane's information there. Yep, Brandon. I try to treat myself as much, well, I guess I could take that back. I probably don't treat myself enough, and I think that's why I really like having this series, because I don't do that enough for myself, because most of my money goes to my wife and daughter, and then secondly goes to the fish, and all the fish stuff is just like maintenance stuff, like buying fish food. I think fish food is like the main cost of everything, is whenever you run out, especially when you have as many tanks as I do. I think that's the main thing, is buying a bunch of fish food, and then water conditioning, were the two main things that I buy for the fish now. So I think it's kind of nice to be able to have, a little special something to hang up in the fish room, so that way you guys can enjoy it, and I can enjoy it as well. Is anybody else? I hope I got everybody. Jesse says, can you repeat that all again? Third time's a charm. You're really running me out of breath here, but it's awesome. You guys are starting to roll in here on a Saturday night. I haven't even looked to see who else is live, but this works within my time frame, and it's going good. We started out slow, but we're going strong. One thing, I don't know if you guys can agree with me. That's all that's in the chat. Hey, RJ, what's going on? Vinoski, thanks for coming in. If I pronounce that, sorry, I probably butchered that. But thanks for coming in, Vinoski. Yeah, I'm gonna hook up P-Tag. What's going on, Jesse? Oh, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it. What I think is crazy is the live stream that David Elfish, and his friend, his buddy, he's if you guys aren't subscribed to them, I would go over to his channel. Jesse, if you can put both of those guys as if you have time to, if not, it's okay. But put both those guys as YouTube channels up there, because I think he's trying to get to like 500 subs. But it's crazy. They do this Friday night hangout, and so I think sometimes Wednesdays, I believe. But their Friday night hangouts are absolutely nuts. I mean, everyone that's in the chat right now, they've probably done it before. But Jesse, thanks for putting his YouTube on there. But their live streams, they're just so entertaining. I mean, everybody gets along with everyone. We all joke around with everybody, and like, it was funny that who brought it up? So Ben Sharp. This is what made me think of it, Ben, is whenever people stop a live stream, or if you stop doing whatever you're doing at home, then you're like, all right, I should be able to go to bed. Well, then freaking L's, fish tank or L's fish YouTube, they get on with, and they have like 40 something people in their chat. I'm like, holy cow. It's like, I'm like, if I get 10, but for the 26 people that are in here now, I greatly appreciate your attention and your hanging out with me for a little bit. But like, it's just amazing. Like, if anyone who wants to join it, they do it like every Friday night, and they're up late. I mean, they don't start till I think maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And some of their streams, they go for like 3-4 hours sometimes. And they're just out hanging out. They'll talk about fish stuff. Like last night, they were talking about food for like half the conversation. It's just a great group of fish keepers that just come and hang out in a live stream through the chat, and everyone's joking around with each other, going back and forth, and we're all giving each other a hard time. It's all fun. I mean, it's such an entertaining chat, and I think that's why so many people join this chat room on a Friday night, is because even though he doesn't have a lot of subscribers, everybody knows everybody in this chat room, and we're all just giving each other hard times, and we're all laughing off and having a good time. It's a lot of fun. But yes, sub to those two. Thanks, Slim Tim. Brandon, last night, he says, last night made me eat way too much food. Holy cow, there was so much food talked about: hamburgers, pizza. What else? Like, we're talking about spicy food, and how some people can't take spicy food, kind of like me. I mean, there was so much talked about over food last night. I felt like that was like the main thing that everybody talked about. Like, I already ate dinner, but I was, getting full just talking about food, because that's all that was like a main conversation. It was fun though. Yeah, Jesse, it's sometimes those late streams, I was able to do it because I just came off a night shift, and there'll be times to where, like, if I'm coming off a night shift, or if I'm off and I'm trying to get prepared for a night shift for my work, then I'll stay up late, and it just so happens like, oh, this works out perfectly because I'm, on the night shift schedule. So sometimes it works for me, and it's a lot of fun. Jeff Pelham's Aquatic Sleeper Barbecue. Yes. You never know when the boss is listening. Brandon likes to bully David. I think we all like to give David a hard time, Brandon. I do believe. Jesse, thanks for subbing to everyone. You're the freaking man. Let's see. What else did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Anyone else come in that I didn't catch? Oh my gosh, Jose, you are so correct. Like you said, that these guys keep me up to 3:30 a.m. I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. to work. 1 hour of sleep, power nap. Here we go. Let's do this. Yep, I know the feeling. I was planning to go to bed at midnight, and I didn't go to bed till probably like 1:30, maybe 2. I still got a decent amount of sleep, but holy cow, like, I was not planning on staying up that late. It was fun though. It was very entertaining. Sometimes I just kind of sit back and watch the chat, and it's just a lot of fun. But yeah, Cheryl, if I think I already said hi to you, but if not, thanks for coming in. 3 a.m. Eastern time, traders time. Thankfully, I am Central, 2 a.m. All right, Jesse, got to jump off. Great stream. Thanks for the gift. Yep, you're welcome, Jesse. Thanks for coming in and doing your moderation stuff. You're the best. And take care and have a good night. For anyone who doesn't know Jesse, anyone who's new to the channel, or anyone who's unfamiliar with Jesse, he's been a moderator for my channel for a long time. Brandon is, Jose is, but Jesse's been around the longest, and the only reason being he's been around the longest is because I found out about Jesse's channel through Ben Ochart's channel, and he was a moderator on his channel, and then him and I got connected through that, and then that's how I started my channel through Jesse and Ben. They were kind of like an inspiration for me to start my own YouTube. And then I've just been following them ever since. So that's why I've known Jesse the most. I probably have known him the longest. And it's really neat. to have people like that. I really hope that Jesse and I get a chance to meet someday. I've only met Jim from Happy Place Aquatics. Everyone's trying to talk me into, like even last night on David Elfish on his channel, they were trying to talk me into going to the Clash in PA? I think they said it was, and that's in September. It's a ways away, and I guess hotel rooms are filling up quick. But everyone is claiming that the Clash is like the place to go to for fish stuff. I mean, I guess people like the Clash more than what's the one in Dallas this year? Tip of the tongue. Sorry, guys. Holy cow! Someone help me out here. Gina says, "Clash, clash, clash." One of us. But holy cow! Why can't I think of the name, guys? This is horrible. I'm pretty disappointed in myself. Aquashella, thank you, Brandon. Tip of the tongue. I swear, some of those things that just drives me nuts. But yeah, apparently, from what people are saying that they Clash, they said they like a lot better than Aquashella. So it seems like that's something that we all need to go do if we want to meet everybody, because it seems like it's a really popular event. And Aquashella is too. And I at some point in my life, I will go to Aquashella. It seems like Dallas is a good place to go, and a lot more people go to that one. And the Clash. So that seems to be the two places to go to for the time being. Hey, looks like we got Shirley's in here. Shirley, I jumped in your live for a little bit, but then I was hoping to jump in for a little bit, and I was trying to figure out my YouTube, and then it took a lot longer than expected. I was trying to join my live stream that I scheduled on my phone, and apparently when you do YouTube strictly only live, you cannot, at least I couldn't figure it out. And Jesse told me that like you have to delete the one on your phone and then recreate it on YouTube. So I had to go through that whole ordeal. And I'm used to using StreamYard, Shirley, because I think that's what you use, I believe. And I do like StreamYard, but I don't like the fact that you have to pay so much money to get all the added features. So this is my first time doing strictly through YouTube. So no Facebook, no StreamYard, or nothing. It's just through YouTube only. But yeah, anywho. Caleb, Shirley, all right. What's going on? Thanks for coming in, Caleb. You're supposed to be going to Aquashella Dallas this year. All right. Yeah, Shirley, when I came in there for a little bit, you had a lot of people come in. That's a really cool thing to see. Being as your YouTube, started a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how long your YouTube channel has been up and running. Maybe 6 months. Regardless, you had a lot of people in your live stream, so that you're really getting a lot of followers and a lot of people to come in and join and hang out for a little bit. So that's awesome. More power to you. Yeah, okay. So you use StreamYard. Yeah, it's nice that it's free, but you don't get the quality that you do with YouTube, or if you pay the extra money through StreamYard to get that high quality stuff. I've really liked using YouTube so far, but it's just kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do. The thing I miss the most out of everything between the two is I really miss being able to bring up your guys' chat bubbles on the bottom of the screen, and you can't do that on YouTube. So I really miss that the most, because that helps me remind myself, oh, hey, let's talk about this, while this chat bubble is still up and we can relate to it. Whereas when the chat goes on the side here, it's kind of hard for me to remember. And I think what Ben Ochart does whenever they go through questions and stuff is he somehow brings the chat up. He must share his screen, and that must be how he does it, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'd have to get a hold of him and maybe ask Jesse how they do it, if they ever want to ask questions and relay the chat on the window. But that's for another day. I've done enough figuring things out today. But let's see, who else? Is there anyone else I missed? Oh, Alishan, thanks for coming in. I missed you. But yeah, you're in here now, so appreciate it. Aquashella is also in New Jersey in September. Okay, so Alishan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I haven't seen you in here in a while, so I apologize if I butchered that. Is the New Jersey one as big as the one in Dallas, or is it about the same size, or you have enough people? Because it seemed like where they were at last time, a lot of people didn't go to it at the last location. Um, but yeah, like count 16 from the Fish Fam link, and we got 27 people here. You guys better start liking it. Don't forget to hit it. It's free. Not saying anything, but don't feel pressured, but it is there. We need 10 more people to like it to match up our viewers. Let's see here. So Shirley says, I put my first short about 10 months ago, but didn't really start producing fish stuff or real videos a few months after that. Okay. So you've been on YouTube for 10 months, and then you've been probably active for maybe about 8 months or so. It takes a lot. I mean, for me, like, it kind of came a little bit naturally for me because I was kind of okay with being on camera and that sort of thing, but I was still nervous. It was a lot for me to take in at the same time to do things correctly. I think I was more concerned about making sure the camera was set up right, if it has the right angle to it, as opposed to like me just talking. I usually don't have a problem with that being on camera. And whenever I do videos, I think it helped me do videos first and then doing live streams later, because if I did live streams first, I probably wouldn't be as confident on camera on live streams as I am now if I had started doing live streams in the beginning. Because what made me get more confident is doing videos first, getting the comments in, and then being able to react to those comments and comment back on them. And then I could relay it back on my live stream so I'd have something to talk about. Whereas if I just opened up a live stream, I'd be like, all right, what do I talk about now, sort of thing. But it's different for everyone. Someone like doing the live streams first, and it works for them too. So that's kind of my experience. Uh-oh, Gina. Oh, you got it. We got 22 likes now. 22 to 27 people in here. All right, so we need 5 more people, unless they had already come and gone, which is fine. It is all good. So Brandon, you started your lives first. Okay. Yeah, I think Brandon, we still got to schedule a day. I don't even remember. I have to look through our text to see what our topic was, but we got to do that. We really have to sit down and pick a day. I think we had discussed maybe after like March, like maybe end of March. I think we were talking about doing another live together, because I'll tell you what, Brandon, I had a lot of fun doing the whole live that we did that one time when we were comparing our answers and stuff. I think we need to do more of that. Have a topic, compare our answers, then discuss it within the chat, because I think it really gets everybody interacted with the entire chat between us two and everything. And I think it really, it's just a lot of fun. It really gets people's minds thinking, and people get to say on the chat of what they think of what works best for them and that sort of thing. So, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Caleb. You said you like the aquarium built in the wall. Caleb, that there's 2 of them. There's one over here as well with Mbunas. But long story short, there is, if Jesse was here, or maybe Jose, maybe if you're in here, you could post that video. I think it's like a 6 or an 8-minute video, but it's a video, if you want to check it out, Caleb, of how it all came to be. Because this wall wasn't originally here. Long story short, my brother and I built this wall together and did the measurements for the fish tanks that are back here. And I got this idea from a restaurant in Florida when I was visiting my dad, and they had in-wall tank setups like this at a restaurant. So that's where I came up with that idea. And I thought to myself, I could probably get this to work if my brother was all in on it, and he was. So it was a really cool thing how it all came together. I mean, I still to this day, that's probably one of my personal most watched videos, because it really is a neat thing to see how this all came to be, and I love it. So if you have time, Caleb, check it out. And Jose, if you're able to find that video, post it in there for me if you would, or Brandon too. Sorry, Brandon, if you want to post it in there too as well, that'd be great. Let's see. Yes, Brandon, that whatever it was, I'm gonna have to look back and see, but I can't remember what the topic was. For the life of me, I'd have to really look through our text, or I'd have to go back and watch a video of us and see what our topic was. And let's see I shouldn't say what our future topic is, because then I don't want to reveal too much, but I'll have to go through our text and I'll have to see what that topic was. And then we'll have to try to pick a date, Brandon. Let's see here. Who else did I miss? Who else is hanging out with us? Oh my gosh, we have 23 likes with 23 people in here. It was 26, but we're evening out. We're doing good tonight. um, let's see here. What else do we got? Scotty from Raising Fishes says, I can't do live streams because I don't multitask very well. Trying to talk and watch the chat, I would go crazy. So Scotty, if, with my opinion on that, I think that's where I would rather use StreamYard personally. What I'm still going to do for anyone else who wants to know, I want to ask you guys this too, while I have you guys all here with me. I've personally really enjoyed the Show Me Your Tank series. It sucks I don't have the higher quality on StreamYard anymore, but I can still use StreamYard. It's just not as good a quality. I don't have the special features like putting my icon, in the corner and that sort of thing. But I can still invite people on the fly, whereas YouTube, I can't do that. So I want to ask you guys here on YouTube, where I have you guys all here, do you guys really enjoy that series of Show Me Your Tanks? Because I've really enjoyed it. It's nice to have guests up here, and if they're comfortable, to come and show off their tanks and get to meet new people in the fish community. And it really gets to see a lot of different ways and how people do things, and it's been very neat for me to see. So I want to keep doing that, but I just have to use the free version of StreamYard just because it's inviting people on the fly sort of thing. Is this the one, Joe? Let me see. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jose. That is the right one. Thank you for posting that. I appreciate it. You got it, Jose. So Caleb, if you want to check that video out and anyone else, it should be like a quick video. It's only holy smoke. It's only like 8 minutes long, something like that. The Beach Fuzz Kid. Am I thinking correctly? The one that I had on here, it was he had like a oh shoot, he's on Discord. Let me see if I can find him. He has NC Pleco Cavers. Is that who you're talking about? Jeff Kane. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Most of us use free StreamYard. Don't sweat not paying for it. Yeah, and I was paying for it, but it just came down to a point to where it's just like, I'm cheap. There's some things I'm not cheap for, obviously, because I got something to share with all of you guys tonight, and I was really excited about this too. But there's just other things that, like, if I don't have to spend the money on this and I have a free version for it, then I don't know. I'd rather not. And it's nice to have that higher quality, but StreamYard, they just went with like a whole business perspective, and I'm okay with just sticking with it for free. So, but yeah. Jose, which short? I can't find a okay. What Brandon said, yeah. Okay, so Ed Aquatic, he's enjoyed Show Me Your Tanks. Okay, thank you for that. It is saved watching for later. Okay, Caleb, cool. I appreciate it. Check that out after the live stream, Caleb. So Jeff says if it's talking about a head stream, the audio quality is the important part. Streamlabs might be an alternative program for hosting. Okay. I haven't used Streamlabs yet. There's Restream on there. There's Streamlabs. I know that Jesse and Jim, they use Rumble. But okay, so so Jeff says a bare bottom Brandon is a peach fuzzy kid. Okay. His beard is a stick on. All right, that's what you're talking about. I get you now. But we had some people on there. We had some new people I met on the Show Me Your Tanks, and I feel like a lot of people get some good conversation. And NC Pleco Cavers, he was able to advertise on there with what they were doing. But yeah, stick-on beard. I used to do that as a kid, buy those stick-on beards, and dress up for like as a pirate, dressing up for Halloween and stuff. I used to buy those things all the time. A pirate was my favorite thing to dress up as for Halloween, for anyone who didn't know. And the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are some of my favorite movies too. They're not like my ultimate favorite movies per se, but they are definitely up there on the top list. Brandon says, I shave it, I look like a kid. That's for darn sure. Jeff, you have a beard too, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Sometimes when people at work, like I can't even fathom picturing them without a beard. We used to, our company. Long story short, we used to have to be tested for, like, fit tested um, for masks because of our working at a natural gas process facility. We had to be fit tested, and before the fit testing procedure, um, they were requiring all of us guys to be clean shaven. And it was crazy because they would do it at probably the most inconvenient time, sometimes in the wintertime, to where they would have like these massive beards, and then to do the fit testing, it was required for a little bit. They had to shave their beard off completely. It was like, holy cow, they just lost like 10, 15 years, of their, or they got younger like 10, 15 years. It was like, holy cow, I didn't even recognize them. It was so crazy. But then their beard grew back really quick too. So let's see. Ed says, I have a stick on stomach. That's pretty funny. um, oh, okay, Jeff, a little scruffy. Yeah. I, I couldn't get past the scruffiness, guys. I really couldn't. Um, I think it got to the point to where, for me, when I started my YouTube channel, if you go back on my older videos, I didn't have a beard. Um, but I think my problem is with beard, just I can't get past the stage of whenever I'm trying to sleep and I feel like my beard is just like folding over itself, and I can feel it just prickling up against my pillow, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. That's kind of like the point to where you need a haircut, because whenever you wake up, your hair is like this. And it usually isn't like that. It's not as noticeable when you get a haircut. And that's when you realize, oh, I should probably get a haircut sometime soon. That's kind of how I feel with like the beard. Like there's a certain point in time, I'm just like, okay, this is getting too much. But to each their own. I mean, that's just how I like it. And the people with the beards, more power to you. Because even my brother tried to grow a beard for a little bit, and he has like patches and stuff that he probably can't even grow like a full beard without having patches coming off of him. But yeah, shout out to all the bearded buds out there. You guys are more determined than I. um, more power to you. I cannot see, like, for like Brandon and like Jeff and um, all the guys I'm used to seeing with beards. I really can't fathom seeing you guys without one. So um, if there's a rare reason you get rid of it, we then that's fine. For like some people do it for charity. They, like, some people cut their hair and that sort of thing, and just for like a bet. I bet you can't do this sort of thing, and then if they lose, that sort of thing. But otherwise, whenever I meet people and I see them in a beard, just like once they shave it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, please grow your beard back. um, let's see. Scotty says, yeah, if a job requires me to be clean shaven, I would be fired. After retired from the military in 1998, I had a beard ever since. Yep. Windshield is real. Yeah. So that was one thing that was like, so I'm thinking of a windshield, RJ. If I'm guessing, if I'm thinking of this correctly, it's a lot better to have a beard in the wintertime, that's for sure, because that wind just cuts right through you and it gets to your neck, and it just sends shivers down my spine. Especially in Ohio weather here when it's cold and the wind just can pick up whenever it feels like it. I always wear like those neck warmers around whenever I might work outside and stuff. But yeah, I believe that if that's what you're talking about, that windshield is real. So Fathom McFarty Pants. I'm assuming that's a nickname you gave him, because I know who Fathom is. McFarty Pants. So Jeff, should we start calling Fathom this then? Is this a new nickname that we're giving him? If I'm thinking of the right Fathom, this is Alex, I'm assuming. Fuzzy Pants. It was one of those Peach Fuzz Cabbage Patch Kids too. You guys are terrible. But entertaining, to say the least. Oh yeah, so the summer it keeps the sun off your skin, so you won't get a redneck at all. Well, maybe I shouldn't say redneck. 100%. Yes. All right. So that all makes sense. I was correct on that and understanding you correctly, Jeff. I appreciate it. All right. So what else we got going on tonight? We're talking. I feel like I'm kind of running behind because we're all talking about food and everything else, and here we talked about everything I need to talk about, and now we're on the beard subject. So maybe we're heading off in the right direction. It's all entertainment, guys. It's all a lot of fun, and I appreciate you being here. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, but I'm trying to come out with more videos. But with I have a vacation coming up next month. I have an auction coming up next month. There's I have a family member that's being taken care of now. We saw her today. My grandma, she's doing good, but we're trying to stay close with family at the moment. So it's been kind of busy right now, and then work kind of took over for a little bit, as it always does. So it's been fun hanging out with you guys tonight. And I'm glad I have the time, and I'm glad you guys are giving me the time and giving me your attention within the chat and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Gina says, I call Fathom Fat Horn. Sum of zero, still zero. Personal life is way more important than the tube. You're all good. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, there's some. It takes a lot. I mean, it's a work-life balance and fish-life balance. It's a challenge. It definitely teaches you responsibility, especially with having family and stuff. And I'm sure all you guys know, and having kids and whatnot, that it really is a challenge. And we all know that the fish keeping hobby, it's not as easy as it looks. I mean, people have been doing this for 20, 30 years. I mean, let me ask in the chat. Let's do a survey, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying this correctly. Let me see everyone's number of how many years they've been doing fish keeping. And for people that have taken breaks and then come back in, leave the break out and just say like I'm curious to see the numbers. Since we have 23 people in here, just give us all a number of how many years and a rough estimate how long you've been in the fish keeping hobby. And I'll go first. And I think I started around 2020. So I've been actively doing this for about 4 to 5 years. Let's see the numbers, guys. Let's see, dish these numbers out. And no lying either. Don't get greedy. Okay, so Ed's doing a bunch of auction in Ohio, Pennsylvania. So Eds, are you going to the one here soon in Youngstown? Okay, so we got Brandon's 23. We got Scotty, 50 plus years. Slim Tim, Dirty Aquatics, 30 years. Shirley around 2. Alishon, 58. 3 for Cheryl. Gina for 8. 35 to 40. And Fish and Reptile, 44 years. Wow, you guys have been doing this for a while. Why am I sitting here talking? You guys should be here in front of this mic doing all the talking. You guys are the experts, not me. No, we all have our expertise. Ben Sharp, 40. Okay, Eds, I might see you at Youngstown then, so I might meet you there because I'm planning on going to that auction myself. I'm going to bring a bunch of dragon bloods with me and probably some female OBs. But I might see you there, Eds. That'd be cool. So it looks like our top contender, if I'm reading this all, am I all caught up here? Let's see here. Our newest person is probably Shirley with 2 years, followed by Cheryl with 3. But it looks like we have, let me see my first number here. Scrolling through the chat. We got Brandon, 23. So it looks like Scotty, Raising Fishes, 50 plus years in the making and still going strong. That's amazing, man. We should be like bowing down to you. You're the almighty fish god. That's amazing, my friend. That's really good. Maybe one of these days we can get you in on camera and we can learn from you one of these days. Maybe we'll have you on a guest at some point. RJ, you're full of it. Slim Tim's got 30 years though, so that's pretty close. Ed's Aquatics got 35 to 40 years. So I mean, we've got some definite veteran fish keepers here, and it's really cool to see people be in the fish keeping hobby for this long and then to join a channel like mine that I've only been in here since about 2020. And it's really nice to see you guys all come in and hang out for a little bit. It's been really cool. No fish god, Scotty says, just love fish. That's awesome. So what was since you were the number one, or however you want to word it, what was your very first fish tank that got you started? If Mr. Scotty, what was your very first fish tank? Vinoski, 40 years as one of my hobby. That's crazy. Being in birds also. Okay. I'm not a bird fan myself, but I'm sure you'll find people here that have birds. I know Jesse has a bird. I don't know what kind, but is it like exotic birds, or is it more like birds that you get at a pet store, or are you thinking more of like birds like outdoors, like blue jays, cardinals, that sort of thing, or is it like a bird watching thing? Like, what do you do? Vibes, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Vibes, don't forget to like. It's free. We got 24 likes on this live stream with 26 people in here. We're doing really good. Thanks for coming in, Eddie. Birds. Oh, Genia's in with birds too, it looks like. Scotty says, I had a paper route, saved money, and bought a 55-gallon with help from my dad. My first was a 29-gallon. And then it went from there to a 55-gallon. But I feel like a 55, Scotty, is like almost like a staple tank. Like I feel like it's one of the most popular tanks out there because it's like a middle of the road sort of thing. If people don't want to spend too much money on a bigger tank, but they don't want to have a small tank. And I think, in my opinion, that a 55 is still relatively on the small range per se, without going too overboard. Like I feel like people can generally have a 55-gallon tank, and if people have the money to spend, I personally would rather choose a 75-gallon because it has more depth to it. But I can't say much because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 55-gallon tanks down here, and I only have 4. No, I take that back. I only have 2 75 gallons and 2 60-gallon breeders, which has the same measurement. Hold on. Yeah, I believe the 60-gallon breeder has the same depth as a 75, I believe. But yeah, that sounds about right. That's kind of like in my ballpark range, Scotty, that you start with a 55, because that's kind of what I went to after my 29-gallon. What did you have in that 55-gallon, Scotty? Slim Tim says a Walmart 5-gallon hex with under gravel filter. Slim Tim, do you still use under gravel filters? Not very many people do nowadays. I think, well, I almost thought that, you know what? I'm trying to think if Mad Max, if he uses under gravel, because I thought he did, but I wasn't 100% sure. I know a lot of his tanks are planted tanks, so I don't think he does. I was trying to think of a YouTuber that uses a lot of under gravel filters, because there's only one local fish store that's in my area that still uses under gravel filters. But yeah, anyways, let's read through the chat, see what I missed. I asked about Vinoski, what kind of birds are you into? I don't see you in the chat yet. Let's see how Gina has a parrot. All right. Vinoski, I bred parrots for 25 years. Ed's Aquatics. That's crazy. Let's see. Stephen P, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. You're one of the late arrivals. Stephen Peeve, this is something new to my channel. I decided to treat myself, long story short. And I put it up about a week ago, and I've just been waiting for the right time to do a live stream to show it off to everybody. So this is my new addition to my fish room. Cottage cheese. RJ says we fixed our 55 gallons, still sitting in the back of the car. Shirley says my first was technically a 1 gallon with a common goldfish. Don't we all start out with goldfishes at some point in our life? Even like as a kid, I feel like that's kind of like what started everything. On my desk when I was 15 or 16, but I don't consider myself as having been a part of this hobby until I started a few years ago. Yeah, because I did it as a kid too, Shirley. But I didn't stick with it as long as I wanted to, because then, of course, growing up and being a teenager, we all do our teenager things and we start doing our different directions or where we want to go and fit in life. So I get that. That's kind of where I went. Let's see. Jeff says, I don't like 55s much, but they are cheap. Grow out tanks. So that was what I did originally. That's why I had so many. That's why this 55 dragon blood cage, or my dragon cage, as I like to call it, that's a grow out tank. I have two 55s over here that are grow out tanks for more dragon blood and my future 220 tank. And then the two behind here. The reason why I chose 55s for my in-wall tank setup is because I had already had the tanks to begin with before I had anything else set up. And at the time, it was convenient for me because the tanks that I got was really nice. I had a coworker of mine that he didn't need the fish tanks, and he was generous enough to give them to me to have for my fish room because he wasn't using them. And I don't think if I'm not mistaken, he either didn't pay much for them or he was planning on using it and then never did. That was given to him. So it worked out really well that I had these two tanks available at the time. So it just worked out perfectly to put these 55s in. Another thing, the reason why I chose 55s for back here is because like with any foundation in your house, especially in the basement, you have those, what do you call them? But like the long, I'm terrible with construction, so I do apologize for this, guys. But they're the bars that help keep your house, steady, that sort of thing. They're steel bars, they're set in places and within the basement to help, keep your house level, that sort of thing. My whole goal to put this in-wall tank set up is to put that wall aligned in with those bars. So that way, one, they didn't get in the way of my feeding the fish and doing maintenance, and two, to be able to hide them so I don't even see them at all in this basement at all because they're completely invisible, practically. But sorry, I couldn't think of the terminology, guys. But yeah, the tank that got me started, Shirley says the tank that started me down this rabbit hole was a 5.5 gallon we rescued from my neighbor. That's perfect. I always like rescue stuff because then I think it makes this hobby a lot, it has more meaning to it. And you can rescue, some fish or rescue a tank and put it all together. A lot of my tanks were used too and stuff. And a couple of them that I had, a couple of the 40 gallon breeders, I resealed one and then I fixed, I cleaned up another one that was a mess and I paid dirt cheap for them and they're still running to this day. So I think it's nice to be able to have that to rejuvenate it. But yeah, I agree with Jeff that 55s I'd rather have the depth of a 75, but 55s are cheap and they're easy for grow out tanks. Scotty doesn't have a 55 anymore. You go from 180 gallon, 125, 75, 40, 29, 20 tall, 20 long, 10s, 5s, and 150 outdoor rice fish pond. Very nice. And Jeff has a 125 gallon with a form of undergravel filter. That's cool. So Vinoski has a parrot. Thanks for answering my question. And I was curious as to what everyone has, people that like birds. But yeah, that's interesting. That how long has that 125 been up and running? For a long time, I assume, because it's all air driven, right? I'm thinking with the undergravel filter. That's pretty cool, man. So Stephen P, pretty sweet. Thank you. I'm assuming you mean the sign, so I appreciate it. RJ says symmetrically, the 90-gallon fits closer to the 210 and the 125 in the living room. Not going to discuss the fish room. Fair enough. Very interesting. Shirley says she's exhausted. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have read that either. Sorry, wrong place to send that comment. Did you mean to send that? Maybe I shouldn't have read it. Sorry, Shirley, if I shouldn't have read that. Sorry. All right, so moving along, Ed's. I lucked out at the Erie auction a few years ago. I heard about the Erie auction because the people that were from Youngstown told me about the Erie auction is bigger than the OCA that I went to recently. I think if the weather wasn't as bad, I think the OCA one I went to recently would have been better. Not that I'm saying it was bad per se, because it was a great experience and I loved it. But I feel like the weather pushed people away because a lot of people didn't show up till like a lot later within the auction, like halfway through it. And that's when I actually got more money auctioned off myself. But you look at the Erie auction a few years ago and got 640 breeders for $10 each. Holy smokes. That is insane. Like, you really did luck out, because if you like a 40-gallon breeder, like just a tank alone itself. Let me look on, just because I'm curious, PetSmart. I'm just out of curiosity of how much. Let's see, 40-gallon aquarium. Let's see here. We're looking at, well, this one says reptile, but it says $130. So let's just go by that. $130 for a 40-gallon breeder. And you really lucked out. 640 breeders for $10 each. That's a freaking steal, man. That is a really, really good steal. I'm sure they got hers, mostly her tanks super cheap or free. I guess technically speaking, Shirley, I've never paid full price for my tanks, because every time that I bought them, it was always on, like, I bought brand new tanks. I bought several brand new tanks for my fish room. Actually, all my 20 longs, all 6 of them, they're all brand new. All my 10s, a couple of my 10s I had to replace because one I just could not fix. Long story short, but not to get too off topic, but I always bought my fish tanks on the 50% off sale, or like the buy one, get one half off, whatever you want to call it. I've always bought tanks with that deal on there. But yeah, sorry, Shirley, I shouldn't have read that, but I'm glad you're saying it's okay. Whoops. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, Ben Sharp. I'm jealous of Ed too. That's a darn good deal. Let's see here. Gina's Reef, March 2nd, Petco's 50% off tank sale starts again. Okay. So if anyone wants new tanks for 50% off, it starts March 2nd. I think PetSmart might be doing theirs. I was just on their website. I didn't even see anything. Either they just did it recently or they're still doing it. I can't remember. Jeff says, no, it was one of my first tanks in the new fish room. DIY PVC. Oh, Jeff, you're talking about your undergravel filter, if I'm not mistaken. If not, you can correct me on that in the chat. That's fine. It was one of my first tanks in the new fish room. DIY PVC, dirted canister driven form of under. Okay, you were talking about the undergravel filter. I read that correctly. Good. All right, interesting. So it's a DIY PVC dirted canister driven. That's interesting. That's crazy. I never thought of that, because usually I see the undergravel filters as being more air driven, but that's interesting. Thanks for explaining that to me, Jeff. I appreciate it. Huh. DIY PVC dirted canister driven form of. So is this canister then, is this like are we talking like a store-bought canister, or is it kind of like a makeshift DIY canister thing? I'm assuming like your own DIY sort of canister that you would make out of your own materials. I like what RJ said. Thought you can enjoy the laugh. All right, Scotty, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. He said, "Get this old man to bed. You get your booty rest, man. Don't stay up like in David's live stream last night, because man, that was a late one." Yeah. Hopefully that Petco will have the 125. I heard about that. That they're starting to do the 125. I mean, I don't know the price on the 125. I forget because it's been so long, but it's kind of neat to actually bring the 125 gallon as a half price. I know that some people might say, "Oh, well, this is still too much money, for a 125 at half price because people can buy them on marketplace, blah blah blah." But to each their own. If someone wants a brand new tank, then they can have that peace of mind of saying if something goes wrong with it, they can take it back to the store with their receipt or whatever they have, and they replace it. Because I think that's what PetSmart does, and Petco probably does too. That you have that reassurance of like, hey, if something happens to it, I can take it back to the store and they'll replace the whole tank. Because I have heard that people have done that before. But that's just the risk you take in buying things that are used. But if things work, then more power to people who buy used or brand new tanks. But I think having a 125 half off is a really good deal too. Let's see here. Scotty, thanks for coming in. Ed has around 110 tanks in my room. I thought you weren't going to talk about it, Ed. Now you brought it up. You brought it to light. That's nuts. 110 tanks, and I thought I was doing crazy with 30 something. I'm actually going to be downsizing once I get this 220 in here. That's my whole goal. But I think I can fit 25 more. Ed's Aquatic have pushed MTS to the max. So you are the king of fish tanks currently running. Let's see here. RJ says you're so old you remember under gravel filtration. Yeah, so I think it's kind of neat to have like a DIY canister filter. Haven't seen videos on it recently, but I know I've holy cow, I can't talk. I know it's been done, or I should say I've seen it been done in the past, and I think it's a really neat thing to have people create their own, like, for example, like a DIY sump instead of buying their own seamless sump, and spending a lot of money on, if that's your thing, that's fine. But people that buy like a 40-gallon breeder and build their own sumps, like, to me, that just amazes me because, like, me personally, I'm still like, I don't really have a necessity for a sump because I'm more particular with canister filters. I have 2 FX6s that are going to go in that 220. So that's just my preference. But people that make sumps and stuff, like that to me amazes me. I really am really just amazed at how sumps are done, and they buy these huge, 2-3 inch thick sponge filtrations that are in them, along with the bio balls that go in, and the whole idea of when you lose power, you have a certain water level you got to keep it at, and that sort of thing. It's really neat that it's probably ease of access too for sumps, because all you got to do is go in there and just rinse them out every huge once in a while and put them back in. I mean, it's probably really easy once you get the PVC and the piping done and all the different things to set it up, and drilling your tank. I feel like that would be the hard part, but getting the actual sump running and up and running and maintaining it, I feel like it'd be a breeze. So maybe that's why people like sumps that much. Let's see here. Linear flow system, store-bought, adapted canister filter. All right, Jeff. Interesting. I still like that, Jeff. I really like how you've did that and put that whole under gravel filtration along with the linear flow system with the store-bought adapted canister filter. That's pretty sweet. 125 full price is $1,000. So hey, $500 for 125 open glass tank. Well, it depends on what money people are willing to spend. Jeff says I'm only at 75, but I'm not done yet. Let's see here. The 125 isn't permanent inventory as far as the store associates know. It was a test run. Huh. Um, let's see. Vibes. See you later. Thanks, Eddie, for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. I appreciate it. We've been running for almost 2 hours, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to hang out. Depends on everyone else and how much they want to hang out tonight. I don't have too much going on. You guys can hang out as long as you want. It's been going good. It started slow, but now it's progressing. Just a quick reflection of the evening for anyone who came in late. I introduced the sign. I thanked Jose, Joy Fish Keeping, for introducing me to the website to get the sign and get set up. And then I talked about the auction I did at the OCA not too long ago and met a few nice people within the auction. And I also got to meet some people after the auction, and I got to trade some fish with people personally. I got to trade with someone yesterday. He came in the chat for a little bit, so that's fantastic. I think that's what kind of means a lot to me, is whenever I connect with someone, I give them some fish, and then they come back on my live stream, and because I give them one of my stickers. Before I forget, for anyone who came in late, if anyone does want some of these stickers, I got like a holographic sticker. So if anyone is interested in having these stickers, feel free to just message me on Facebook, Instagram, or on Jesse's Discord as a private message. If you guys want some stickers, I can give you a couple, and you can give me your address if you're comfortable doing that. If not, no biggie. I still think I have I think there's maybe 20 or so left in this bundle. I still think I have another 50. So I got plenty to give out. If you guys want some, you just got to message me in the meantime. So that was kind of the gist of what I talked about tonight for anyone who came in late and missed it. All right, Brandon, thanks for coming in. Hopefully I didn't miss you. But thanks for coming in, Brandon. I really appreciate it. Jeff says sumps take up too much space in a limited space fish room. A display tank, 100% great filtration system. Yeah, they do take up a lot of space. And if you have a lot of fish tanks in a big fish room, you really don't have space for it unless you have a specific compartment made for that sump to filter all of your tanks. And I would assume you'd want a big tank, not a 40 breeder, but something that would be able to go within all your different tanks. So that makes sense to me. It all depends on your situation, what's going on, and what you're looking for. Every fish room's different. Every fish tank's different. Every fish has a different personality. Every setup's different. That's what's great about this hobby. What works good for some people may not work good for another fish room. So that's a good point. So there, Gina was saying about the 125. It's not open glass. Oh, it comes with 3 glass tops. Jason Schwartz. Hey man, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I hope your fish are all doing well. Still happy and healthy and growing, I hope. Hopefully I'll see you at the next fish auction. I'm not going to the one in Canton tomorrow, but I will be going to the one in Youngstown. That's cool that the 125 actually comes with lids. I didn't know that, because usually when they do this fish sale, the Petco and PetSmart, you only get an open glass tank. So that's pretty sweet. 3 glass lid tops. That's something, at least. The 125 has a creek-like flow with eddies. Okay. It's interesting. Some people like that creek-like flow. I mean, if I'm understanding that correctly, it kind of has a nice river flow to it, sort of thing. Vibes is up in 5 to 30-ish pending startup setbacks. Yeah, Jeff, it seems like if there's anyone that's notorious for being late to the live streams, it's usually him. I think that sometimes he kind of runs into traffic and other things too, and stuff, but I don't know. Vibes is such a cool dude. He's so chill. I like joining in on his live streams a lot, because he's usually with Curtis and all that sort of thing. So I think that's why I might jump off here soon too, to give other lives some time to hang out for a little bit. Jeff says an attic sump, Ben? An attic sump. Is that possible? I don't know if I'd want a sump in the attic. Interesting. Let's see here. Jeff says a room sump would be cool to set up. 300-gallon stock tank setup. Yeah, so you'd really have to elaborate, or not elaborate. I said you'd really have to think hard about setting up a big tank, a sump, and then have it feed to all of your tanks. I think that would be a sight to see. What's really cool is we have this place in Ohio. It's called the Ohio Fish Rescue, and I visited it when I was at the OCA for the first time. And when you go there, like the way they have their setup is absolutely insane. Like I couldn't even like think, in the right state of mind to develop of how they set up their, filtration and everything, to where like fish were actually getting caught in the filtration and then making it back out to their giant pond, which used to be a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool, which is now they carry like some of these massive fish that they're all like rescued and stuff. I mean, this whole place is just phenomenal. It's just so full of fish, and their filtration system is absolutely insane. The whole system just blows my mind, but it would be cool. Ed says, "Hey Joe, when is the Youngstown auction?" If you give me a minute, Ed, I can look that up. Jason Schwartz, oh, he got it already. 3rd Saturday in March, Eddie. So Jason's got you covered. I forget when Eddie's Pittsburgh club date is. Thank you, Jason. You're a lifesaver. I was about to look that up, but you got Eddie covered. So that's freaking awesome. Attic is outside then. LDH, what's going on? Hello, my fishy friends. I don't know why I didn't get a notification seeing I have the bell on. LDH, you may not have gotten a notification. Long story short, I set this up, and it was supposed to be through the Fish Fam link and everything. But what happened was I scheduled it on my phone, and this is my first time doing this on strictly through YouTube, because I'm not using Facebook. I'm not using StreamYard, Restream, whatever you want to call it. I was used to using StreamYard. So I scheduled it on my phone, because what I did with StreamYard is I could go within the app and I could just schedule it on my phone, and then I could go on my computer and bring up the live and be good to go. Well, I can't do that with YouTube. If I set up a live stream, and for anyone else who doesn't know this, if you set up a live stream on your phone through the app, you cannot go back into my computer. Like I couldn't go back to my computer and jump on the live to get on and get set up. If there's a way to do it, I don't know, but that's what me and Jesse Salient Aquatics figured out whenever he did this. Is he sets up all his lives on his computer. So if he does his lives and schedules them out, he does them on his computer. So that way, when he brings it back up to manage it on his calendar, he can just bring it up and be good to go. And I couldn't do that because it was synced to my phone, my phone's camera, and YouTube set up with all that thing. So I actually had to delete the original one, and then had to reset it up a half hour before my live stream started. So maybe that's why LDH, you did not get my notification if it's set up, because that kind of screwed up a lot of people's notification was set for my live stream tonight. So just a little word of the wise, I guess. Okay, so Jeff said it would make water changes easy, though, with a single sump system. Yep. Agreed. Let's see here. There's Nathan in here. Is Nathan LDH? I used to have people's names written on here, but I decided to go with everyone's YouTube name instead, unless they specify like on the YouTube name, like how I do. My name's, obviously in my YouTube channel name, but yes, Ed. Well, it's the last Friday of the month. It is February 22nd. Next Friday is the last Friday of the month, the 28th. Let's see here. Okay, thanks LDH. Nathan. All right, cool. I'm curious to see if I get out my list of names, if you'd be on there. I feel like a lot of people have said that, but I just been more comfortable saying the YouTube names unless I know like Jesse or Jim or Jose or sort of that sort of thing. But yeah. It was cool to see everyone's length of service in the fish keeping hobby. It was neat to see who won again. It was let me just go back to the chat here. It was I think it was Raisin Fish, I think that was I think he was doing it for like 40 years. Okay, I went too far here. Everyone gave some numbers. All right, here we go. No, yes, Scotty, Raisin Fish is 50 plus years in the fish keeping hobby. He got the trophy on that one. Oh man. All right, Cheryl. I think I'm gonna head out here soon too. So I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you again soon, I hope. Thanks for the info, says RJ. Still in the box because we used our phones for so long. Yep. All right. Yeah, I bought a laptop specifically for this as well, RJ, for this live stream and everything. So let's see. All right, so 5 minutes. It's been 5 or so minutes. He's late. As well, but last time I looked at my name. Got a jet. All right, Shirley. Thanks for the stream. Thank you all for coming into mine. Had a blast with you guys. Yeah, Shirley. Or thanks for coming in, Shirley. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to go. It's been about 2 hours or so. I'm pretty thirsty. I'm running low on my water here, so I'm going to go ahead and finish. LDH says, Nathan says, how did Salient get that price tag plexiglass thing? LDH, okay, so I'll let you know real quick before I go. Everyone else, thank you for coming in and stopping by. You guys are the best. See you, Jason. Everyone else, thank you so much for supporting me in this live stream and coming in. You guys came in strong. It started off short, but came in strong. I had like almost 30 viewers at one point. You guys are the best for participating in this chat and working through the YouTube thing. I really appreciate it. And then long story short, Nathan, Jesse got this. There's a website where I got my neon sign from. It's called Zanvis Neon, but we got 5 of them for free whenever you order a sign and order through Zanvis Neon. They give you 5 for free along with the neon sign. I'm sure you can order through Zanvis Neon and just buy some, and submit your picture and, customize it, that sort of thing. But that was kind of like a perk that they do. If you buy a neon sign, you get 5 of these things for free. Joy of Fish Keeping got one, and I got one, or I got 5, and I distributed. I gave one to Jesse, and I gave one to Jose because they're Jesse's been a longtime member in my channel, and Jose gave me one of his right here, so I wanted to return the favor. And then I gave one for myself, my brother, and my mom and dad. So that's how I got those, Nathan. We're going to go to Vibes channels now. So you guys go to Vibes channel, hang out with him. I'm going to go jump over there and hang out for a few minutes. And then we'll see you guys all on the flip side. You guys are amazing. Don't ever forget about that. You guys really mean a lot to me coming in and hanging out. And take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Price tag out.